unless they giving up all flags and bringing their body into the under the truth. Because of course, 90% of this shit is born out of selfishness, out of looking for power, out of sexual deviancy, and you just destroying the work of the Lord. Okay. Never before to harden them, never before did black people look at us like we had a sexual deviance problem.
I tell you it according to the Bible. If a brother want to have sex in his woman's butt, that's up to him. According to the Bible. According to the Bible. If a brother want to have sex in his woman's butt, that's up to him. That's up to him. That's up to him.
Like we had a sexual deviance problem.
Ain't no sex with his wife? Okay, well listen. Let me tell you something. A lot of people gonna be mad at me about this, but I'm going to tell you like it is. The answer is yes.
Like we had a sexual deviance problem. Never before did they look at us. Never before did black people, in all our years of speaking on the street, black people never felt like, I don't like them brothers on the street. They might have disagreed with us, but nobody came against us like they had, unless they had a drug problem or, something like that. Before to harden them, never before did black people look at us like we had a sexual deviance problem. Never before did they look at us. Never before did black people, in all our years of speaking on the street, black people never felt like, I don't like them brothers on the street. They might have disagreed with us, but nobody came against us like they had, unless they had a drug problem or, something like that. But other than that, black people knew we was for them.
If a brother want to have sex in his woman's butt, that's up to him.
Hey, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bahashim HaRachakodash, double honors to our apostles and elders. Here, great millstone, peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. Good lesson. I watched the full video put up by Holy Biblical Defenders, and the Lord is revealing the hearts of many men. And like the elder said several times throughout the video, basically, like we here at Great Millstone, like we're gonna, like who cares, right, what these people think? Because what you realize is that, sometimes you just gotta snap back into reality, and because what happens is, because so much can be said on this whole thing, right? And that's because you just see the whole book, the whole scriptures just come to life. The moment that that whole thing happened and you see the reaction of our people, you just see the whole book come to life. That's proof that the Bible is a living book. You see the hypocrisy of our people. You see the false shepherds. You see the false pastors. You see those who are abusing the flock. You see those who are doing things in secret as if the Lord don't see it. You see people in positions of leadership abusing their power and or misusing the flock or doing things behind the scenes. You see the wicked of our people who want to justify the wicked and condemn the just. You see these people who don't see that it's the judgment of the Lord. You see the whole book just come to life. So much can be said about it. And that's why, for the most part, it's going to be talked about for a while, because you're looking up news and information and all those things, but there's so much that can be said about the whole thing. And, you just come to a realization in the terms that even when you go to the scriptures, the prophets of the Lord, the true prophets of Yahweh, Yahushua, just like Yahushua himself, okay, in the midst of all of this, in the midst of the judgment of the Lord, if it's one thing the prophets of Yahweh, Yahushua did not get, is a fair trial. So GMS is now going to be the blame for anything that goes wrong in these camps. As you can, clearly see, like if you use Al-Azhar an example, the only group that came against him, period, was Great Millstone for his doctrines on the truth. Everybody else stayed silent, and I mean dead silent. It was only Great Millstone that came against him, and when the Lord brought him down, somehow it's Great Millstone's fault. That's incredible. That's incredible. So now when anything goes wrong in the camp, it's going to be, well, you could blame GMS. Well, at one point, GMS, he was with y'all, so y'all take the blame. What? So I guess when the Lord visits IUIC and he brings Bishop Nathaniel down because of his pride, which is super high, which, by the way, nobody has anything to say about that except ISUPK, but that's more, they only speaking because it's a personal matter that affect them. That's it. It's not out of truth with those guys. As you can clearly see, it's not out of truth, right? It's not about truth. When the Lord brings IUIC down, guess what? I guess Apostle Tahar is going to take the blame for that. Because, well, wait a minute. Bishop Nathaniel, he was your student of the Apostle Tahar. You said it out of your own mouth. This is your fault. So you see, that just shows you that there's no getting through to the wicked of our people. There's no getting through to the simple. Evil men understand not judgment, just like the prophets before. They went and told the people what the Lord was going to do before they did it. They mocked the prophets. They made sport of the prophets. The Lord came and did what he said he was going to do. Now all of a sudden the prophets are to blame. You're to blame. Lock up Jeremiah. He just prophesied evil against us. He's the problem here. When they saw Elijah, art thou he that troubleth Israel? Elijah said, what? I'm not the one to trouble Israel, but you troubling Israel by serving Baal. And here it is. They serving Baal, another guy, but then it's Elijah. He prophesied this famine to three. So the Lord gave the power to a man to hold back rain for 3.5 years, and the Lord just he just like, yep, Elijah, that dang prophet, he's the problem. What you see? So there's no reasoning when it comes to our people, and we're talking about 2/3. Ain't no getting through to them. Okay, the judgment of the Lord is going to come to pass. They're going to get mad. They're going to look for somebody to blame. They're not going to understand judgment. So they're going to get mad at the prophets. They're going to kill back then they either killed the prophets, locked up the prophets. They did all these things. But in the midst of it, there's a very small remnant that sees the truth for what it is and pulls themselves out. That's what we're going through right now. We're in the time of exposure of the false sheep, the false shepherd, shall I say, and the false sheep. And that's what's happening right now. And you know that all we can do, here's all we can do, is defend our stance and show the receipts. Yeah, it's frustrating. We get mad, but it ain't going to change nothing. You people, Jake is unreasonable. Okay? Unreasonable. Ain't no getting through to them. That just means that we're in the right lot. You would think that people would have the decency and the common sense to say, well, wait a minute now, let's use logic here. It was Great Millstone that rebuked Al-Azhar for years, and they still rebuked him when they saw this stuff. So how are they going to be to blame when clearly Al-Azhar rebelled from up under Great Millstone up until this day? And then we got the scriptures where it say, lest being a novice fall into the condemnation of the devil, a child left to himself be willful. The priest did not put a difference between the clean and the unclean. See, that's what a logical mind whom Yahweh Yahushua is dealing with would say. If you're blinded by hate and rage, and you just in it for the wrong reason, you're not going to see it that way. But that's okay. This is what Yahushua said, John 15:19. If you were of the world will love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. And everything that formerly priest Al-Azhar spoke was of the world. That's why he's received in. And that's why he can be caught red-handed doing the most, some weird stuff. And in the end, they still would try to justify him, just like the scripture says about, let me see if I can find it. It's no different from when you're accepted in the world. Yes, Sirach 13:22. When a rich man is fallen, he have many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken. Paul's not authoritative. You don't have to worship Yahushua. F Apostle Tahar, F Apostle Ralab, F Apostle Rakar, F Ariah, all those things, right? It says he have many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuketh him too. He spake wisely and could have no place. So anyway, back where Yahushua said. So since we not speaking of the world, we're going to be hated. says, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will persecute you also. They will also persecute you. If they have kept my sayings, they will keep yours also. But all these things they will do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken to them, they had not sinned, but now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hateth me hated my Father also. If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not sinned. But now they have both seen and hated both me and my Father. Oh, this is the scripture I needed for that previous lesson. I got it now. Okay, I'll read that again. If I had not done among them the works which no other man did, they had not sinned. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. Long ago I did a lesson titled, I think I said, for these doctrines, for judgment, these doctrines are taught, meaning, deep down in people's hearts and Israel's hearts, the Lord knows that they don't really love him, or they have an issue with them. So the Lord brings out the issue several times over so that they can see it and confirm it and deny it several times over. So the Lord is then now justified in bringing the judgment, just like the doctrine of the grape. To this day, they refuse it. They still act like it's not there. They're labeling us sexual deviants because we're telling what the law says. ISUPK, IUIC, Sakari, these groups still refuse to acknowledge what's there. And that's just one of many doctrines. So the Lord will keep bringing it up. So eventually they can confess out of their own mouths, in their heart, in so many ways, saying, we reject the judgment of the Lord. We reject what's written in the law of the Lord. But we can't get to the Lord, so we're just going to put it on you all. Just like they hated Yahweh, but they ain't say it, but they show proof of it by putting it on Yahushua. Verse 25, but this cometh to pass that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law. They hated me without a cause. Yahushua was hated without a cause because he spoke the truth. Yahushua didn't get a fair trial. Yahushua wasn't treated fairly. He wasn't heard out, and people, they hated him, so he took the blame for everything. It did not matter. Even Pontius Pilate knew this man is innocent. And they said, we don't care. Get him out of here. He's a sinner. What is he sinning of? Get him out of here. We don't care. What was he guilty of? We just don't like him. Get him out of here. We don't care. Well, how's this great millstone for? It's their fault. It's their fault. They're the ones to blame. They talk that sexual decency. Wait a minute. Ain't you the one that said that it's okay to have sex in your woman's butt? Call it doing the butt? Ain't your man the ones that's saying a whole lot of suspect things? Ain't your man that said that in order for Will Smith to get back at Chris Rock, he should go and fuck and have sex with Chris Rock's wife? That's adultery. Ain't you guys the one that said that? So when all the adultery happens, then it's all us great millstones fault. If it wasn't for them. But wait a minute, you guys are the ones that said that actually promoted that. And then Breck backed that up and justified that. Like, what? So you see, it's not about the truth with these guys, like the elder said even in his lesson. It's just not about the truth. You see the whole book come to life. All we gonna do is defend our stance and show the receipts. That's all we're gonna do. So whenever these guys, because he just said, General Hunter, he just said, right, black people always knew that we were for them. Says the one that promoted the vaccine. And out of his own mouth, he said, yeah, I know that a lot of black people are afraid because of all the experiments and the deaths and that our people done by the white man, but you should take the vaccine. That's what he said. So you are so-called for black people. How come when it came to the jab, were you for black people then? Huh? You see? All we're going to do is show the receipts. And we understand we won't have a fair trial. But we just defend our stance like Yahushua did and just show the receipts so that the very few amongst the world and the very few amongst the elect out there in Israel will be able to see like, no, this ain't right. You guys are putting blame on them when they're not responsible. And hopefully those hearts will be turned to the truth so that they may be a part of the elect. But that's it, man. Shalom.